Okay, everyone, this is my WWE Hell in a Cell review, the most recent pay-per-view for WWE, and I want to start by saying a very good montage, a very good intro video to the pay-per-view. I thought it was pretty cool. No one makes feud or on, any videos like that, like the WWE. They're absolutely brilliant at doing that. Now, something I want to pick on a bit. 2 pay-per-views a month? Really? Did this start recently, or is this just a thing with Battleground and Hell in a Cell? Anyway. Alright, move straight on to the first match. Triple Threat Tag Team Championship match. So 3 teams of 2 men each, obviously. And we had the new champions, which was Cody Rhodes and Goldust, which apparently the titles changed hand on Raw, which I wasn't aware of, against the Usos, and the third team was the Shield. So, I thought this first match was going to set the pace for the rest of the pay-per-view, and it definitely did, because the first match was brilliant. Cody Rhodes was just a star throughout the whole match, and his moves were brilliant. I've written down that it was a brilliant match, and it was. And we had Cody Rhodes and Goldust retaining the championships, which I thought was the way it should be for now, for the new tag team champions. And the Usos were also a highlight in this match, because I believe they just did so well, and they're so good as a tag team, as well as the Shield and Cody Rhodes and Goldust. It's good to see Goldust back. He's been away for quite a while, and it's good to see him back in the wrestling ring again. I made a note that it's great new talent for WWE, because I've been noting there aren't any of the old stars left. No Undertaker unless it's at WrestleMania. Triple H doesn't wrestle anymore. Shawn Michaels doesn't wrestle anymore. So it's all the new stars. And I think with this new talent, the Shield, the Usos, and Cody Rhodes, and whilst they've been around for a while, I can see them being a big thing for a while to come, and supporting the WWE in a good way. And, alright, let's move to our second segment of the show, which was, apparently, The Miz had some beef with the Wyatt family that came out and attacked him for a few weeks. I haven't watched the weekly episodes of wrestling. The last thing I watched was the last pay-per-view, which was Night of Champions, and I didn't think Battleground. Yeah, I didn't think too much of Battleground. Hell in a Cell definitely, tipped the scale a bit. Yes, so there was a segment The Miz pretty much called out the Bray Wyatt, and so the Wyatt family do their sort of trick with the lights and everything and come on and start beating the crap out of The Miz, and then we have Kane coming back to the WWE. First time he's been there since SummerSlam, and he pretty much clears the ring of the Wyatt family, and then he chokeslams The Miz, which I thought was pretty cool. I didn't see it coming, but I thought it was pretty cool anyway. So that was a very cool segment, I thought. Okay, next match. Mixed tag team match. Great Khali and Natalya against Fandango and his girlfriend Summer Rae. And I found this match very good because the girls showed some excellent technical skill with their moves, and then you had Fandango and Khali had wrestled each other, which was pretty cool too. I just want to make a note that Khali's matches aren't as good as they used to be. He's former world champion, and he used to have some awesome matches with Batista and Rey Mysterio, and it just seems that, because because he hasn't got a championship, he has now gone worse. And, you know, I just tend to think former world champion, surely he'd be represented a bit better than he has been. But that's just me. The winners of that match were Fandango and Summer Rae. Summer Rae managed to pin Natalya, but either way, it was still a great match. Alright, next match. Now, next segment was the WWE panel. This is something they've been going on for... They've used a few superstars to talk about the matches, and I really don't like it. You guys should comment and tell me what you think of it, but personally I don't really like it. They're just telling us what happened in the match and what they think, but really, I just think it's unnecessary. It's good to see the superstars that aren't involved in the pay-per-view that actually have something to do, instead of just, you know, take the night off. But I just think I don't like it. Next, US Championship match. We had Dean Ambrose against Big E Langston. That's right, heel versus heel match, which I thought was pretty cool, because you don't get to see much. Now, something I've thought about the United States Championship, there aren't enough contenders for it these days. Dean Ambrose has held it for a little while now, and I think he's gone against Rob Van Dam and Kofi Kingston, but, you know, you get Kofi challenging for the Intercontinental or the US title, and there just seem not to be enough contenders for the US title, whereas you've got the main stars, the Daniel Bryans and Randy Ortons, John Cena's, CM Punk's, Orton, they're all going for the big championship, whereas they're not paying attention to the US Championship anymore. I just think they need to pay more attention to it, because it's still important, and, you know, I think the fans would rather see one of the big name people like CM Punk going for the US Championship and winning it than just sitting in the background and, you know, doing nothing, just waiting for a title shot for the WWE or World Championship. Okay, now, Big E Langston managed to win this by disqualification. Dean Ambrose got himself counted out, I believe, so championship doesn't change hands for a count out, so I guess I was kind of expecting that. But now the crowd had a good reaction to Big E Langston winning. Does this mean maybe we'll have Big E having a face heel or a face turn, maybe? What you guys should comment to tell me what you think about that. But I thought that was a very good match also, even though there was a huge weight difference between the two. I still think they pulled it off very well. Alright, moving on. We had one Hell in a Cell match, CM Punk versus Ryback. This is a feud that's been going on since Battleground? Yes. No, Battleground, they had a match, and the pay-per-view before that is when this started. That's right. Now, so I think it's a good feud, because Ryback is seen as the bully, and now he's a Heyman guy, and so CM Punk has to go through Ryback to get to Paul Heyman, and I like that angle that they've got. Goldberg, or should I say Ryback? I just want to add a note. Does anyone remember when Ryback first came into the WWE? It was, I think, the second time they did that Tough Enough challenge. The first time the winner was Maven. He went on to be a superstar. Now the second time, if you go back and look up a YouTube video or something, you'll see Ryback was one of the contestants for Tough Enough, and he had a different name then, and he had hair, and I just knew I recognized him from somewhere when I first saw Ryback on wrestling, and it was just really funny because, you know, now he's just the big deal, and he's got no hair, and I found it really funny. So CM Punk ended up winning this match, and he managed to get his hands on Paul Heyman and beat him up a little bit, and which I found pretty cool. Heyman managed to put himself on top of the Hell in a Cell by using a scissor lift, and he's making speeches, and I just think Paul Heyman's a fantastic actor. He's a very good character, and I like what he brings to the feud between him and Punk, and I can see their feud going all the way to the next WrestleMania. it might seem that it's over now, but I can see Paul Heyman, doing something, and it's just going to reignite the feud again. But a very good match. There were heaps of, it was hard-hitting match. There were some tables. It was a brilliant feud, so it all made for a very good match. Alright, let's move on. Now we had a tag team match for the Real Racists, the Real Americans, against a new tag team, Los Matadors. They're a Latino tag team. I'll say they're a very good tag team. I was watching them wrestle, and they're very technical. They're very quick, and it just makes them very fun to watch. The Real Americans also a great tag team, and so the winners were the Matadors, and it was a good win. And I don't know if you guys know about the bull man that comes out with them. He's jumping around and doing all sorts of things. He's really cool. He's a great addition to the team, and I think they're going to be very well known before long. And I don't know if people notice, but do you see a lot of the crowd going with what the Real Americans have to say? They come out, spill some racist, propaganda, and then they do the "we the racists" sort of thing, and a lot of the crowd goes with it. Guys, it's a storyline. It's not like we're actually trying to kick out all these people out of America. But, that's just my opinion. Okay, next match. Cena back again. Yay! But, Alberto Del Rio against John Cena. Yeah, I had here it was a no contest, and, John Cena was out for a few months doing surgery, and they gave him a sap story. He will be back and better than ever. And, he comes back and beats Alberto Del Rio. Now he's the world champion, because no one saw that coming. I like to think that in the future he'll have a Damien Sandow feud, because Damien Sandow is the Money in the Bank championship holder. So soon enough, him and Cena will have a match, and it might be a good one, but I can see Cena holding the title forever, again. Okay, and they made a little announcement. John Cena's 14th championship reign. That's 2 off Ric Flair's all-time great record streak of 16 championship reigns. If they give John Cena 16 championship reigns, I will not be happy. It's enough that they constantly use John Cena, but to compare him to, one of the greatest wrestling superstars ever, just tell me what you guys think about the whole John Cena 50-time champion thing. Okay, women's championship match. AJ Lee against Brie Bella. Now, AJ won this again. Now she's doing very well with her championship defenses, and she managed to make Brie Bella submit with that Black Widow stretch submission, and it was also a very good match. Not much to say about that one, other than it was good, and maybe looking at a possible feud to go over, maybe to the next pay-per-view. Okay, the main news, what everyone was looking forward to, was the Daniel Bryan Randy Orton feud, which has been going on for a few months now. Now we had a Hell in a Cell match with Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. HBK, Shawn Michaels, a special guest referee. Now this had a fair few pluses from the start. It had a good storyline with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon and all the bosses against Daniel Bryan. It was a great feud because they're 2 great superstars, Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, and the match was fantastic. It was high impact all the way. The match only lasted about 20 minutes, but they piled all the action into it, and it was fantastic. And Randy Orton ended up winning this match and the championship. There was a bit of controversy because Triple H got involved in the match, and he pretty much managed to piss off Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan ended up hitting back against Triple H, and Shawn Michaels ended up super kicking Daniel Bryan, and Randy Orton was able to pin him and win. Now, I hope this storyline continues. Obviously it will, because there's now the Shawn Michaels controversy, and Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, I'm sure, have a fair few matches left in them. I can see it going for another few months, maybe up until WrestleMania. Maybe that's too far away, but I really like the feud, and I hope it goes on for a little while longer. And I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. Battleground was a big disappointment, but this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view I thought was great, even though there was a second pay-per-view for the month, and because of that, I didn't think it would be very exciting. It would just be another formality, not much would change. But I have a few notes here. Survivor Series next month, yes. Survivor Series is one of the 4 big pay-per-views per year. SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, and the fourth... fourth is the Royal Rumble. Yes. There's 4 big pay-per-views, and I believe those are the 4. But the Survivor Series I'm very excited about. I would like to see what happens, and I'm pretty sure we'll have another Daniel Bryan Orton match. I can see John Cena against Damien Sandow. I can see Goldust and Cody Rhodes defending tag team championships against the Usos or the Shield, or both. AJ Lee will no doubt have a women's championship defense against someone. Now, who else have we got? We've got the Real Americans, blah 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 blah. Punk and Ryback. I think they might continue this feud up until next month. I know the Paul Heyman CM Punk feud will go for a while longer, but maybe the Ryback Punk angle will continue up until next month for Survivor Series. And yes, now another note I had was I'm glad that John Cena came back and won the world title instead of the WWE title, because frankly I couldn't be bothered handling John Cena being the top dog of the WWE again, everyone gunning for him, the Randy Orton and the CM Punk and the Daniel Bryan. Now that he's world champion, it halves the competition, so maybe we'll have more competition going over to the world title side instead of just Alberto Del Rio and RVD and Christian and a few others going for the world title and everyone else going for the WWE one. And I think that's good, because it might bring some much needed attention to both titles. And I think I would like to see a world champion versus WWE champion match one of these days. That might be good. And future predictions for me would be that I would like to see Daniel Bryan win back the WWE Championship from Randy Orton at Survivor Series. I would like to see someone beat John Cena just to have a new champion, so Cena doesn't hold it for another 10 months until, we have a big star finally knock him off. I would like to see another Punk Ryback match. I would like something to happen with the tag team titles, so another match with the Rhodes and perhaps the Usos. I think that would be a good match. And other than that, the rest is pretty straightforward. So, if I was to give this pay-per-view a rating based on how good the matches were, based on how good the overall pay-per-view was, the storylines and everything, I would give it a 5 out of 5. And I haven't given a pay-per-view that sort of rating for a while, because there hasn't been one like it for a while, so hopefully Survivor Series will keep to that standard for next month. Okay. Let me know how you think the review was and comment below, and I'll see you after Survivor Series.